participating in the Bincom ICT career tour. All right. Kindly try to ensure that you have a good background. It plays a major role because you're going global, and this will be live streamed. All right. So be in a nice environment, so that everything actually works quite well for you. So my name is Moses Elijah, and I'll be your facilitator for today, anchoring this great event happening today. And we have our facilitate. We have our coordinators. We have the facilitators around. Insightful, um, insightful.
Trusting the love of the Father.
All right, sorry about that. Sorry, I got disconnected. All right, so I'm just going to take everyone through a short presentation from our end, after which we're going to have our first facilitator picking up the section. So this section actually is focused on giving everyone an overview on what we do as an organization, and also to enable individuals far and wide to actually partake of any of these amazing services that can be of great value to them, and or enable them to actually scale up in their individual, respective, or collective career path. All right, so we actually having this section right now, and I'll just be reading it through. All right, okay. Just to confirm, can anyone see the screen that is being shared? Can anyone hear me? Just kindly comment, please. Let me know.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Okay. There's a screen. I just want to confirm if everyone can see that screen as well. Okay. Okay, please, can anyone see the screen? Okay, Miss Joy, can you kindly share the screen so we'll take this section, just an introductory section into what Bincom Dev Center is all about and what to do, after which the first speaker would come in at the exact time as planned. All right. Okay, so pending when that is actually being done, please do ensure to connect on the comment section, right? Drop your social media handling. Let everyone connect with you right where you are. It's very important to actually build connections with people, right? It will go a long way in your career path as an individual. Right, so, okay. So welcome. This is actually Bincom Dev Center, and just in case you're wondering what Bincom Dev Center is all about, I'm going to give you detailed, more of a summarized detailed information into what we do, and you can happily reach out to us to get further feedback on any of these, and most definitely we'll be happy to move on with you. All right. Okay, so Bincom Dev Center is a multi-location technology talent development and solution platforms. Our location, number one, we are virtually near you. We are also found in Yaba, Lagos State, Nigeria, Ibadan, Kano, Kaduna, Ijebu-Igbo, Warri, United Kingdom, and we also plan to expand to many more locations, our mini campuses in different parts of the world, not just only Nigeria, far and beyond. Some of our services, we have the Bincom Academy, we have the Bincom Tech Internship, we have the Bincom Apprenticeship, we have the Bincom Community events and projects. We have Lightspace. Let me give you more of a summarized introduction into each of these services. Bincom Academy utilizes the Montessori approach in training participants in basic skills needed for the modern technology ecosystem. The Bincom Tech Internship is designed to enable people at intermediate skill levels to gain mastery and expertise over a period of time. The Bincom Tech Apprenticeship is an industrial attachment training at various skill levels to gain experience and on-the-job training. The Bincom community event and project, just like this one, is geared at giving back to the community and building the tech ecosystem. We focus on informing and exposing the youth to the current technology or technological trends and how to prepare for the future in technology. Lightspace. Our Lightspace provides helpful workspace intended to encourage collaboration and drive innovation in the startup ecosystem. We have spaces that was created and designed for various events. I would suggest kindly mute your mic so we have coherence. Anyone whose mic is turned on, please kindly mute your mic so we have coherence, and everyone's good to go. All right. Please also do note that this is a global event, so your video background matters a lot, and you want to be seen in the right light. Okay. So next slide, please. Program structure and rewards. Yeah. Sorry, there's some background noise. All right. Can anyone hear me, please? I was hearing some background noise at the background. Hope it's clear. All right, I believe it's all clear. All right. So still on the services, we have the Bincom Global Tech Program. The Bincom Global Tech Program is your solution to launch your tech career globally. It is both a 1 to 2 year program and a 3-month key program focused on 3 major pillars for you to learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. The program for the 1 to 2 year is actually valued at 1.2 million naira, but don't worry, there's also an income sharing agreement and other payment options. While the program for the 3 months Global Tech program is actually valued for £1,000, right? So don't worry. you can always reach out to us for more information on these. We also have the Emigrate. Emigrate service helps you to become globally attractive. It combines together, enable you to improve your tech profile or tech-enabled business, and your tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement in countries like the UK, USA, Canada, France, Australia, and much more. The Bincom Mentoring Platform is a structured mentoring solution to help mentors add value to mentees for the purpose of building globally attractive techies. Okay, sorry. Can you go back? I think, again, sorry about that. All right. Now, we also have Labs by Bincom. Labs by Bincom is a 3 to 6 month pre-incubator program that brings together participants to build a digital solution, technological product or solution, which would be used by real-life users. So just in case you are here and you always have the intent, the interest to build your startup, Labs by Bincom is here for you. We have the Bincom Tech Career Coaching. It helps individuals to learn their next grow faster by offering a combination of coaching, relevant on-demand and on-the-job experience, career referencing, introduction to tech recruiters, hand-holding sections throughout the application and interview process, and much more. So we have you covered. Next slide, please. So let's drill down into some of Bincom Dev Center services as fast as possible. Next slide, please. All right, so the Bincom Academy, in a nutshell, it's an intensive training program facilitated by Bincom Dev Center. Each technology or application development class is typically 4 weeks of intensive, immersive training. During this period, the participants get to go through the training curriculum for their specific knowledge track, adopting the Montessori approach. We have a list of courses ranging from Python development, mobile app development, graphic designs, UI UX designs, project management, IT system engineering, digital marketing, advanced front-end development, and much more. It is valid for 50,000 naira and an equivalent of about 175 pounds. Next slide, please. Our light space. So please, just in case you are listening and maybe you want to hold an event in any of those locations, virtually we are near you. We have locations around Yaba, Ibadan, Kano, Kaduna, Ijebu-Igbo, Warri, and other major places as the future unfolds. Our light space has the following features. We have an event space that can host between 30 to 40 people, meeting rooms, guest rooms for overnight stays, co-working spaces, and dedicated office spaces and desks. Next slide, please. All right, so Bincom community event, as I did mention it all the time, we basically look at for ways to give back to the society. And the community event is divided into 5 categories. We have the master classes, the meetups, the idea sharing, explore on the move, and the challenge and brainstorm, aka hackathons, amongst others. So just a quick overview. The masterclass is a couple of amazing services or amazing trainings. We have some of them here: the Digital Financial Services Masterclass, the Bincom Startup School Masterclass, the Technology-Enabled Learning Series, and much more. For the meetups, we have the WordPress meetup, the PhD meetup, the Data Science meetup, Python meetup, AWS meetup, Angular, Laravel, marketing, and much more. The idea sharing, we have the Bincom ICT Career Talk, which is one of these. We have the Career Drill Downs. Explore on the Move, Tech Tour, just in case you're here and like that. We also have challenges and brainstorm like hackathon, amongst other stuff. Bincom Tech Network. Bincom Academy uses the Bincom Tech Network Slack for collaboratory purposes. Interaction with facilitators and other participants of the Bincom Academy class will happen on the channel in the Bincom Tech Network. Also, you need to know that the Bincom Tech Network is a talent pool where we have quite a good number of resource persons. We believe that this will grow into one of the leading African largest community of tech enthusiasts and experts. The Bincom Tech Club, it's basically, it creates an ecosystem that enables tech enthusiasts who have little or no knowledge in tech to learn and rub minds together with tech experts leveraging on the tech community to front end the possibilities for individual club members to become tech experts as the future unfolds. Next slide, please. All right. We have the meetup. These are the list of meetup as earlier mentioned. Next slide, please. Okay, just in case you're here and you want to explore the Global Tech Program, we have two of this amazing package. We have the 1 to 2 years program and we have the 3-month program. The 1 to 2 years program is valued between 1.2 million naira or roughly £4,000, and 3-month program is valued for £8,000. Don't worry, it's quite flexible, and the objective of the Bincom Global Tech Program is to make you as an individual to learn skill, to gain experience, and to gain valued exposure, making you a go-to person in tech. Emigrate. And just in case you're wondering, you want to move to other countries, you want to Japan, you want to do anything you want to do. Emigrate provides tech-enabled visa opportunities for people in tech, either the technical side of tech or the business side of tech. It gives you the opportunity to live and work in UK, USA, Canada, France, Germany, and Australia, and much more. What can Emigrate service cover? General inquiry, coaching and handholding section, preliminary assessment of your qualification status, self-directed roadmap, all right. Hope you can all hear me. Sorry, I got temporarily disconnected. All right. So in a nutshell, thank you for your patience. In a nutshell, Emigrate provides you the roadmap to become globally attractive techies. Next slide, please. We have a broad list of Emigrate services, both the free and we also have the premium services. For the free services, you can get access to information and inspiration. Emigrate community is free to you. Our monthly open day, which is an amazing event for you. You can attend it as well, free. We have our introductory videos, Emigrate Open Consultation, Tech Nation Visa Ambassador Open Hours, short inquiries, and others. While in our premium service, we have the Emigrate Circle, we have the personalized consultation section, which is 30 minutes to 1 hour. We have the standard package, review and introduction, and we have the Emigrate Premium service, specifically full-fledged for the 1 to 2 year program. And we also have custom services. If you're interested, you can easily go to bincom.net/emigrate to get more information. Thank you. Next slide, please. All right, basically how our typical open days look like. We have 2 open days per month, one in the first week of every month, and in the 3rd week of every month, we have the Emigrate Open Day section. Next slide, please. Now, I mentioned something to you all the time. You're here, amazingly, beyond just you having to be a techie or to have amazing ideas or idea for whatever it is, right? If you're looking out to build a startup, to build systems around your ideas, of course, to drive profits and amongst other things, social impact, then Labs by Bincom is here for you. And if you're interested in doing that, you can easily just check out www.bincom.net/labs and let's get your ideas on the wheel. Next slide, please. So also you can earn while you learn. Does that sound interesting? I believe it does. All right. The Bincom Dev Center Ambassadorial Campaign is a partnership with my circle, bringing the abilities for people to earn from their network and positive social influence. You earn 10% for Bincom Dev Center for any of its services which you refer. For example, you earn 10% of the payments made by prospective Bincom Global Tech program participant referred by you, which is 120,000 naira, roughly £1, that's roughly about £400. For anyone you refer this program to, and you get them excited, you get them to pay, right? You have these benefits given to you amongst others. Next slide, please. Okay, so you've had everything set so far. How do you contact us? You can reach out to us via mail at bincomdevcenter@bincom.net, or you can still connect to us via call or via WhatsApp platform. All right, with the number you can see on your screen, +234-701-195-4852, or you can check us out at www.bincomdevcenter.com. Thank you so much for listening thus far. All right, so we're actually getting ready to move to the next section where we have our facilitator who will be here with us pretty soon. I think it's actually here. Let me check. All right, but please, in the meantime, you can drop in the comment section below what your expectations are for today's meeting. I think might just have to kick off fully. All right, please, you can drop your expectations for today's meeting. Let's get to know you. All right, we actually have two amazing persons who will actually be taking today's section, going global as a techie. How do you become really globally attractive? We have two of our facilitators. We have Mr. Patrick Bincom, who is a product manager and a founder. He actually works currently with Bincom. And we also have Madam Comfort, Mrs. Comfort Odafe. She is a professional service personnel, and she works at Bincom Dev Center. Okay, so these are the two amazing persons, and facilitators who will be taking us on today's amazing section. All right, just to confirm, Mr. Patrick, I believe he's here, or he'll be joining us pretty soon. Pending when he actually joins us fully, we will have Madam Comfort with us to actually kick off this section. I hope you're all excited. I'm very, very excited. All right, you have two resource persons, Madam Comfort and Mr. Patrick Idefong. All right. Okay, so I just want to know, Madam Comfort, can you hear me clearly? If you can, please can you confirm?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Good morning.
Okay, that is great. Am I just the only one from my end? I think the mic is quite okay. Okay, can everyone hear Mrs. Comfort from your end? If you can, please kindly drop a comment in the comment section. Oh, Mr. Patrick is here. Oh, nice. If you can, please kindly drop a comment in the comment section that you can. All right, so we have both Mr. Patrick and Madam Comfort Daffy being here. Okay, based on the modalities, I think we're going to start with Mr. Patrick because he's here. All right, okay. We're going to have, thank you everyone. We're going to have Mr. Patrick being introduced right now. After which Madam Comfort would take over in the second section. All right, so we're going to have a brief introduction of Mr. Patrick. Okay, Ms. Joy, could you kindly initiate? All right.
Hi everyone, can you hear me clearly?
Loud and clear, clear and loud.
All right, so our first speaker today is Mr. Patrick Ndifon. So just a brief summary of Mr. Patrick. Mr. Patrick is a tech-savvy product manager, an entrepreneur who has dedicated his career to helping businesses and entrepreneurs succeed in the African continental free trade area and the global markets. So with a BSc in computer science and an executive MBA, he has a deep understanding of the tech industry and the unique challenges and opportunities facing startups and MSMEs. As the founder and executive director of Siphon Up, a nonprofit organization that cultivates, shapes, and grow entrepreneurial ecosystem, and the managing director of Cali Valley, an export activation center for youth-led MSMEs and startups. Mr. Patrick has helped scores of startups and small businesses build innovative products, sustainable business models, and integrate technology into their operation. His passion for building innovation ecosystem and empowering small businesses has positively promoted and advanced the enterprise economy in Cross River and beyond. Can you imagine? So feel free to connect with him to explore potential opportunities and collaboration and to hear his thoughts on the intersection of society, tech, and entrepreneurship. So the floor is yours, Mr. Patrick. It's great having you join us today.
Welcome, Mr. Patrick.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're most welcome, sir. It's so great having you here. I think, that was actually a very inspiring introduction. And I must say that your range of interest is something not just only mind-blowing, but something really engaging. And I believe that you have, quite a good range of exposure and some very, very inspirational, let's say, background towards what you do. So, okay, so the floor is yours. I'm actually going to be here on my pen, my jotter, and I'm here to take down take down questions. I love to ask questions, so don't worry, it's going to get all interesting, all interactive as we advance further. Okay, I think the time has been given. You have roughly, I think, yeah, please, the time, I would suggest Ms. Joy to actually share the allotted time to Mr. Patrick. Okay, Mr. Patrick, let's begin.
All right. Thank you so much. It's really great to be here. I know Joy, so I was very excited when she asked me to do this. I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship, technology, because I believe that for Africa, for Nigeria, it has the potential to really transform our country, transform the lives of our people. So I'm very, very big on that. I think I'll just do, how many minutes do I have so that I know?
Okay, so let's say 35 minutes within that range.
Okay. So let me talk about how I got into tech. I think, I had my first computer when I was about 8 years. I had an uncle who bought a laptop. He was in the US, so he bought a laptop for us. And that was my first introduction to tech, so to speak. But my father was very scientific. He was an agricultural scientist, and he did a lot of experiments with animals and all this kind of things. So we were fascinated about science. We're fascinated about knowledge, information, and all of that stuff. None of us wanted to be what he was. He was an agriculturist. I wanted to be an astronaut. I had a brother who wanted to be something else. It was only my sister that took after my mom, who's a doctor. So she too wanted to be a doctor, and she eventually became a doctor. I never became an astronaut anyways.
Yeah, don't worry.
We'll get there. So I got the computer, I think, and then we had this university graduate then who taught us how to use DOS Windows and all those kinds of things. And so that was my first foray into the tech world. I didn't really understand it. It was mostly what I did was play games with it. So fast forward some years later, I think my dad had passed, and then I had the privilege of traveling across the world with my mom. I was in the UK, in South America, and going to schools there, I was introduced to web development at high school. And then we had softwares like Front Page, Front Page. Was this software you used to build websites, and there was Dreamweaver and all these all these things. Yeah. So I started getting more accustomed to these things, and from web, I now discovered hardware. Started tinkering around computer hardware, repairing laptops, customizing systems, building your own system and all of that. I had this really big book on CompTIA, networking hardware repairs. I tried. I didn't read it all, but I did my best to just taking all that knowledge. And I think even at that time, I still didn't realize that technology could do so much more. From hardware, I got into game development, but I didn't develop games. I was more like a game master, testing games for a company in an Asian game brand that was based in the US. The game's called Lumia. That was a very long time ago. So then the internet was really like this new crazy place. You had pirate platforms up and going and all of that. So it was just an exciting world. And I just plunged myself in, discovered software development, started with things like Visual Basic and the likes and all of that. So it was very enriching experience. But most of what I do today, all of those things that Joy had read, it didn't start until I would say around 2015, when during my undergraduate program at the University of Calabar, one of the things I discovered was that, look, a lot of people, at that point, people were not paying attention to technology. Somebody would apply to come to University of Calabar, for example, and computer science would be their third choice. And that's like a fallout just in case medicine and something else doesn't work. You get, but there were those of us who computer science was our first choice, and it was computer science or nothing else. You get, right? This was very interesting times for us, right? And I now discovered that most of the people within my class or my peers, a lot of them were just there just to get a degree. And they didn't really have they weren't sure what they were going to do with their computer science degree afterwards. The prevalent mindset was that, look, you get a computer science degree and then you go start a cafe. And I'm like, huh? Like, there's a world of possibilities with tech. There's a world of possibilities with IT, and this is something I believe I'm proud of. I mean, it's not like it's an official achievement, but then it was very unlikely for you to have debates and conversations within the computer science department in my university. You would mostly have conversations. You hear people talking about medicine. Medical students are walking to the gate and they're arguing about this and that and that and that. For me, I was like, I mean, why is it only them? So we started having engagement and conversations about technology, about trends, about new devices, new gadgets, and everything. And that made our journey, our undergraduate days, very exciting and very fun. I remember I had the BlackBerry Z10 had come out, and I was arguing with my friends that the phone is the best phone. Look at the tech, look at the user experience, and all of these things. And they were like, "Nah, it's crap," and all of that, and all of that. And I eventually bought the phone. I think I took my school fees, bought the phone, and then when I did that, and the guys could see and they checked it out and all the things the thing lived up to its hype. 2 months after, some people started getting BlackBerry Z10s, and it was just it was crazy. So it was very exciting for us, and it kind of led me to go on this path of helping people understand the opportunities that lie in technology, the doors it could open up for them, and helping them really, delve in and take hold of what technology offers. We live in a world where, I mean, because of the COVID-19, right, where everybody's aware of this, we've had a deep shift from the status quo where things were like, okay, I mean, nobody was too concerned about whether you're digital or not, right? We had to shift, businesses in particular had to shift from that kind of space to, look, if you're not digital, and not just businesses as well, but the talent that follows, right? Which I believe is one of the themes for this particular interaction that we're having today, helping people to understand the opportunities that lie within the tech industry, within tech space. So if at that time that COVID, okay, came and you had not shifted into the digital space, like, you were bound to lose out terribly. And a lot of businesses that closed down because they hadn't gone digital. A lot of people started scrambling to go into the digital space and all of that stuff. And that shows you where the world has shifted to. That shows you where the world has gone to. And as anybody, as a person in today's world, you have to be very much aware of these digital technologies, of the digital opportunities that lie within this space. And I get it, yes. There's a lot of demand now because, I mean, traditional job roles are changing. The things that our parents would tell you, God forbid, you will not do. Now that, oh, you need to go in up a lot of career opportunities. Look at what AI is doing now. AI is taking out a lot of roles out of the market space and creating new roles entirely. I'm sure if a child grows up, a child coming up today will tell his parents that they would like to be a digital comedian, I don't think the parents would argue, because it's very clear that there's a lot of success in that particular space.
Yes,
you
sir.
understand? Yes. So those are the opportunities, right? And yes, it comes with challenges, but I don't think that the challenges cannot be surmounted, right? Anybody who wants to succeed within the tech space, you have to be resilient. You have to be determined that, look, you are going to do what it takes to get to where you want to be. The things that Joy is reading, they look amazing. Oh, and all of that stuff. But I know what it took me to get to that point, right? I tell people this story that I had just finished NYSC and I saved up like, I think about 200K. I had an idea to start up my nonprofit called Siphon, which was basically to help people build, get involved in tech and explore opportunities in tech. And 200K was not enough. I was figuring out how was I going to manage that, because I went through the entire NYSC year. I didn't have a smartphone. I just had a laptop, a smartphone. I went and bought a fake phone in Lagos. So the small money I had was reduced to literally nothing. And I was trying to figure out how was I going to start this whole organization and thing. And it's a good thing I had a laptop at the time. So that helped me. I studied a lot. Then I took a lot of courses on Free Code Camp, learned coding, learned all these things. I was lucky then I had Airtel was doing this ×6 bonus, and for some reason I just kept having it every 6 months. I really don't know how that happened. So I made sure I maximized those resources a lot, did a lot of learning, connected with a lot of people within my own space and environment, and just grew from there. At a point, environment is important because I had to keep myself within a space where I could always interact with people that share the same mindset and ideas. Although environment is important, I always say this too, your environment, however, shouldn't shape you. It's a good thing we have this, you may not have the afford the cost of traveling to other places to get exposure, but if you have the internet there, as much as you can, go in the internet, join Slack groups, communities, join Facebook groups, LinkedIn, follow people online and just get that exposure at that level. It's very important. For me, one of the biggest sacrifices I had to make was when after we built Siphon, I remember the first event we did, I was the one that started the generator, everything, carried it, came, started the event and everything. You know, I had my speaker, he came. As organizer, I'm the one that was doing everything at that time. But we had that event, it was successful, it was great. Subsequently, I had people join the organization, and we were building our first product. We had a product we were building, Badagry. It was an online fashion product. I was the chief technology officer at the time, so I was coding the stuff on Shopify. My co-founder was more like the main founder, was like the strategist and all of that stuff. So I spent a lot of time coding, and at that time, I had to leave I was staying with my uncle at the time, and he was very far from the city. So I left him, came to town, and was sleeping in my office. You know, I was sleeping in one of my other uncle's office. You get it? I was working for him, but I would be sleeping there. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir. You were muted for some time, but I can hear you.
Yeah. So those were the challenges I faced. I mean, sleeping in the office, it didn't really bother me because it was clear what I wanted to do. I was very clear on what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to make sure that, you know, what we're building was going to succeed. And I needed all the focus and attention I needed to give the focus and attention required for that thing to succeed. So we built Badagry. The funny thing is we raised over ₦1 million in funding. But after a year plus, we only generated revenue of 40K. So so it was a horrible outcome. But we had an investor who was open enough to teach us and to expose us to a lot of things. But that failure was what prompted me to understand why we failed. So I went into this crazy research drive where I was just asking questions and trying to read and understand what did we do wrong, and all of that. And I figured that, look, it's not just about building tech solutions, but it's about solving problems, understanding users and solving the problems and all of that. And that's how I discovered product management and started working, got an executive MBA, and then started doing a whole lot of things around not just writing code, but creating technology solutions that solve problems. So it's been an exciting and amazing journey. And I don't regret it one bit. I don't regret it one bit. I've discovered and learned along the way that, look, if you really want to make it in this space, if you want to be successful, right? You've got to be willing to stay focused on whatever the objective is that you've set up for yourself. If you want to be a successful software developer, UI UX designer, whatever it is, focus is very important. Your present circumstances are always going to change. They're not permanent. As you evolve your knowledge and your skills, they'll open up doors for you that will allow you to change your present circumstances. I remember I've been volunteering pretty much since 2012. And most of the work I have is the work I give myself. And you know, little gigs here and there. So largely, I'm busy because it's me that's keeping myself busy. I'm learning, I'm trying out new stuff, creating new things and all of that stuff. And it's really helped me to build my expertise to the level that I remember when I after we built Badagry, and I started learning product management, and I got some certifications and then got the MBA. My first job as a product manager was a $3,000 contract. And I didn't even know how to price it because when it was a recommendation, right? So when I was recommended, I was thinking of doing like, oh, you know, 150, 200K a month type of thing. And then I got called that had done the recommendation. I'm like, please, how much did you charge? And he now told me his charge because he had excessive experience working with clients and all of that. So he told me he charged about $5,000. Like, $5,000 you charge to code app. you know, and immediately I just told the guy, see, look, this is what my bill is, you know, and it was a 6 month contract, so that was around $500 a month, and the time was like about 250K or thereabout, and you know, and I know that it's not full time. I could literally do the work in like every month. I'd spend like 1 week, 2 weeks worth of work on that project. So I was literally like, it was literally a steal. So and I would sit back and I would ask myself like, I just went from 0 to 3K USD like that. And I discovered that look, this guy had gone through my LinkedIn, and I have like 100 certifications on LinkedIn, over 100. You know, I've taken courses, like, and I'm very aggressive on knowledge. So he went and he was literally telling this guy that, please, oh, this guy, I hope he's not going to kill me with price. If I had known that, I would have gone for 5K USD for that job. Yeah, it was my first time, you know. So it gave me a sense of my worth and value. But you see, what I'm trying to drive at is that worth and value didn't come from just you know, wishful thinking. It took it took focus, it took resilience, it took a passion for knowledge and learning to get to that point where somebody would say and see that, look, you know, till date, the contract is done. We had some issues with the project anyways. And I'm still being owed for, for, for the project. One of the disadvantages of working in Nigeria. um, and but the bottom line is that my contributions were so immense that the client is thinking of, you know, giving me some ownership just to be part of that project going forward. So it's a long, for me, it's really important milestone. It showed that, look, all these things I was doing had paid off. And over time, I started to get an understanding of how this thing really works. There's a system, there's a way that anyone can um, build global relevance within this tech field. You know, technology is a very knowledge-driven career space. It's not just you have to know stuff, right? You have to show that you know stuff as well. So I have this framework which I'm going to share, which it is as a result of my learning and mistakes and successes over the years for anyone who wants to succeed within the tech space. All right. The first thing you need to get is knowledge and skill in whatever area of technical expertise you want to be in. So if it's UI, UX, if it's blockchain development, if it's AI, don't go deep, right? Study, okay, build up expertise, learn, take courses, all these things. I have a mantra for myself: you can never find me without a course I'm taking. I literally, I'm currently on a Scrum course right now. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to go do a UI UX. After that, I'm going to do a no code and stuff like that. By the time I'm done with this whole year, I should be hitting like 120 courses, 130. You can never find me without a course I'm taking. Why? Technology evolves. And there was a year I was trying to learn Angular, and literally the Angular framework was changing every 3 to 4 months. I couldn't keep up. It was ridiculous. Technology is there's this called, I think it's Moore's law or something like that. Technology keeps improving, it keeps changing. So you have to keep learning to be able to keep up with technological advancement. Once you've built up skill and expertise, you need to have a portfolio of things you've done. You don't just learn stuff. You need to prove, you need to apply your knowledge, right? You don't have to do that with a job, getting work with someone else. You have ideas of your own. Begin to apply your skill sets to building those ideas. And it's great. I find that when I talk about my success, my failure story with Badagry, they're very excited and they keep asking me questions just to learn the things that I did that failed, so that they don't make those mistakes. You get, so your experiences, your hands-on experiences are very important. So when you learn something, build something, right? When you learn, you build. When you learn, you build. It doesn't have to be big, it can be small. could be just a little component, it could be a button, it could be a page, it could be a form, it could be a simple sketch, that counts, that shows that, look, you understood what you learned and you can apply it to something. Having a portfolio is not just enough. You need to have a profile, online profile. All right, technology opportunities are everywhere. Andela always says, I think something about opportunities being everywhere, but talent is everywhere, but opportunities are not everywhere and stuff like that. But with the digital space, if your opportunities are not within your locality, you can find opportunities in global spaces. Thankfully, thank God for the internet for that particular achievement. With the internet, you can go far. You can provide services to people in different parts of the world. So you need to have an online profile where people can find out about your portfolio, find out about your knowledge and your skill sets. The fourth thing you need to have is a network. You need to be part of a network of expertise, like-minded people, friends, locally and across the globe. These people can share knowledge, opportunities with you. It's very important. Most of the jobs I've had, I think all the jobs I've had have been referrals. I don't think I've ever, the job I was trying to apply for, Andela, at one point, I tried 3 times, I didn't get in. I tried applying for a lecturing job at Unical twice, even tried to use my uncles to give me a boost up, didn't work. So I've discovered that most of the jobs I get are referrals. And I believe that's because I've been putting myself out there through my work, through things I've been doing, through my knowledge and expertise, and through the network that I am a part of. So having a network is very, very critical for you to really getting a leg up into succeeding within tech. So last is get some work experience. Work experience doesn't have to be, it could be volunteering experience. I run a nonprofit, and part of the thing we do is to take in volunteers and distribute them to different areas where they can function and grow in their own career. So let's say you're a UI UX designer and you join us, we put you with a team that focuses on building UI UX solutions and things like that, and you grow in that area. By you volunteering in that area, you're giving back to society. At the same time, you're also building your expertise and experience. So you can decide to volunteer for any organization, even this organization organizing this, you can decide to volunteer and offer your skill sets free and build your expertise in that particular area. By doing that, you have something you can add to your CV and you say, look, I have deployed solutions within these businesses, within these NGOs, and these are the results I've gotten. And working in a structured organization helps you become more familiar with the work culture, work processes, and those sort of things. Yeah. So if you basically follow this framework of building skill and expertise, having a portfolio of projects that you have that demonstrate your skill and expertise, building an online profile, building a network around your skill set and even outside of your skill set, and then getting work experience, then the sky's your limit. And don't forget that you need to be resilient. Okay, you're going to go through challenges. You're going to see shaggy. You're going to see shaggy. There's no tech skill that's easy. If people think people are trying to get into, a lot of people are now getting into product management. I know how mentally tasking it is. You don't have to code much, but it's mentally tasking. You're going to, a lot's going to happen. You have to be resilient. You've got to be adaptable. Okay, you got to be able to adapt to situations and things. Technology is going to keep changing. You need to be nimble all the way. You have to be resourceful. The world is just unpredictable. So you need to be able to pull solutions from places that people didn't think possible. You have to really think outside the box if you really, really want to succeed. So the opportunities are there. It all depends on you. It all depends on you. If you want to succeed, you're going to succeed. Thank you.
Amazing. Wow. It's a Patrick. Like, I've just been absorbing the information you've been sharing. Like, look at literally my books are like queued up, the writing, like just through. And I would say that the way you're able to I believe I'm being heard, right? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. So I must say that the way you're able to like, you gave more like a dual perspective about breaking through the text space, both from a realist perspective of what it entails, the reality of the matter, what it entails, and you also shared, a detailed strategy, step-by-step process into how people, wherever they are, can actually thrive within this space. I noted down a couple of your quotes, which are also very striking. I'm going to just read out a few, pending when, after which we move on to the second speaker. And I have tons of questions. I mean, tons of questions. All right. Very, very striking questions. We'll like them as well. And this also goes to everyone. You can all forward in your question after the second speaker. We're going to have the Q&A section. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be very exciting as well. I just want to read out of like some couple of few quotes you did mention. I was taking note of them. And number one, when you got started, you said entrepreneurship has the potential to transform nations. Very, very, very vital. Entrepreneurship has the potential to transform nation. And also, the second quote here is, as you improve your skill set, your stock and exposure, the doors of opportunities open wider for you. So they paraphrase from as individuals, whatever you do, as you improve your skill set, your stock, and your exposure, the doors of opportunities open wider for you. And I think lastly, your network determines your reach of access. Right? Your network determines your reach of access. Wow, it's been very, very striking, listening to you, sir, absorbing. I am literally absorbing. I'm like a sponge. And I believe that all the amazing, other amazing participants are absorbing as well. And not just only to absorb, I listen to do. As I listen, I think on how I can apply. All right. So we're going to move over to second speaker. Please don't go, sir. I mean, I have striking questions. All right, striking questions. All right, and we're going to have more like an interactive panel discussion between both speakers. And I tell you, nobody wants to miss this. You're all going to like it. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Patrick. And please, I would say everyone within who's joining us now or who listening to this, virtual section, try as much as possible to connect with Mr. Patrick Difong. As I did mention, quality networking matters a whole lot, as well as the exposure you give yourself, and as well as the required exposure in terms of skill set you've built to yourself. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Patrick. And right now, we'll move over to the second person, Madam Comfort Mudafi. She's actually a professional service expert. I tell you, there's a whole lot about this woman you want to know. Everybody here, there's a whole lot about Madam Comfort Mudafi you would all want to know. Okay, Madam Comfort. Okay, Miss George, reading.
Yeah, so before I bring Madam Comfort, Mrs. Comfort, to the floor, I will just do a brief overview or summary of her expertise. So Mrs. Comfort has been in the IT industry for more than 10 years, majorly in the training, management, consulting, and operation field, with skills and interpersonal skill management, sales, administration, customer service operation, human resource. Mrs. Comfort is currently working in the tech center as a project manager, HR admin manager, and also the team lead of Pro Services. In her spare time, she is an entrepreneur and a business owner still in the tech industry. So do well to connect with her. I will be sharing her LinkedIn link so you can connect with her. So Mrs. Comfort, the floor is yours.
Welcome, Mar. Yes, Mar.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the bio, and thank you, Mr. Patrick, for the mind-blowing and amazing speech and encouragement you've given us so far. So like you've heard, my name is Comfort, and I would just like to share a little about myself while we go on. And I've been with Bincom for a while. I've been in the tech industry for a while. So I would just like to share my screen. I just have a little thing to share with us today. I will try not to take too much of our time. All right. If you can see my screen, can you say something?
Yes, Ma. We can see the screen.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So, though this section was, I really have a little time to prepare myself for this, but it's a thing we do. It shouldn't meet us just suddenly like that. So, like I said, Mr. Patrick, thank you for all you've said. In fact, you've said a whole lot. In fact, we should have the mind to decode this. I celebrate you and I appreciate that you understand how your journey has gone so far. And for everyone on this call, I would also say congratulations, because we actually are on the journey already. We are already on the journey of becoming global. So going global as a techie, that's where I would like us to talk about. So we hear techies, who do we refer to as techie? We don't refer to techie, when some people, when they hear the word techie, they feel it's only gurus in tech industry. It's only those that at the highest level of their career and the senior level, they spent 20 years, 10 years, 5 years in the tech industry. Those are the ones we refer to as techie. I would like to tell us that so far you have interest. You already have an interest, showing interest in this technology, to have a knowledge in this technology. You are already a techie, and that's where it starts from. So don't let's be discouraged. Some people, because you hear the number of experience someone has had, so you get to feature that. So I can't be a techie in the next 10 years. I can't be like this person in the next 5 years and things like that. It doesn't work that way. So far, you've started it in your mind. So far, you have the mindset, you have the zeal, you have the zeal, you have the interest, and you're showing it already. You are a techie. You just need to take a step, one step after the other. So, techie is someone who studies or highly interested or proficient in the technology field. So everyone on this call, I would say you're a techie, and I just want to show us some path to help us and lead us to be globally attractive, globally sought after, not just you having to run after anything. You'll be globally sought after. We will actually look for you in the global world. So, well, I don't understand this earlier in my career, even talking about career. When talking about my history as a techie, I grew up getting to understand, even before I finished my secondary school, I grew up getting to, I don't know how it happened. My parents had one hunchback desktop system then. Nobody uses it. My elder one doesn't use it. It's just there. At a point, it was dusty and I was trying to clean the house. And I looked at it. This thing has just been in the house. People are not using it. I've not really seen someone using computers sincerely. It was a big thing that time in our house. So one of these days, during my spare time, instead of running around and playing with friends, I sat with the system, and there are some games on it, Solitaire, Spider Solitaire, and so on. But I didn't have interest in that. I want to make use of the keyboard, I want to make use of the mouse and things like that. And before I know it, I started doing a lot of things on the system, a lot of things that I didn't even know that I was actually doing that. And when I do try and error at the point, it work, okay, I try it again tomorrow. I keep getting better and better using system. So at the point I needed a certificate for say all this desktop publishing, use Excel, use PowerPoint, use everything like that, all those Google suites. Then I enrolled in an academy, and unfortunately for them, I paid for the course. And when I got in, I was more like training others. In fact, they didn't pay me. I was training for them. So from there, I get to know, okay, there's nothing these trainers are doing that actually I can do. There are even some things I have to show those trainers. Okay, you want to do this in Excel, you do it this way, do that, and things like that. So I get to know that I self-trained myself in that aspect. I was still not exposed to a lot of things in tech. So far, I have this zeal. I was so into it. So anywhere I see, if I'm passing through your system and I see anything that you have done that I don't know, I will rush to my system and go and find a way to ensure that I am able to get to the root of that and I can do it myself. And this keeps going on and on. So from that, my self-training, I went into using screwdrivers. So if you have your system around you, except I'm being lazy about that recently, I use screwdriver, I can get into your motherboard, so I get a name like system engineer, lady engineer, and things like that, making use of screwdrivers. Some of my pro services members, but they're not here again. They could share this experience, because sometimes I just have to, one system had issues and it's just have to use whatever, let's pull this thing out and things like that. So, and from there, I get into EdTech. Everything, all my career, all the while, I've been around tech and tech and tech. So this is how we enter. Then I could not say that I was a techie, because I actually was not seeing myself as a techie. I was thinking, if I don't know how to code, if I don't know how to do graphics designing and things like that, I am not a techie. But I realized later that actually, so far I have the zeal. So if you're on this call, you are not there yet, you are not coding, you are into the marketing department, digital marketing department, you're into the business aspect of techies, of technology, you are also a techie. All right, so that's just what I want you to know. So techie is not just about you coding, it can be any aspect of this. All right, so going to how to move from the locally recognized techie to a global relevant techie. Like I said, being a techie starts from somewhere. You need to have the zeal. If you look at the picture on the screen, you see a hand, you see plant, you see water, and if you look at the plants, they are not on the same level. And if you see the hand that is dropping water on them, it's just the water is to nurture this thing. Before the first plant you're seeing, there was a process that happened before those plants start growing. And the first process that happened is for you to get seed planted in the soil. And the seed planted in the soil, for those on this call today, means you already have the zeal in you. You already have the seed of tech in you. The interest of becoming a techie is in you already. That means you have planted the seed. What next for us to do? It's just for you to water it and keep growing and keep growing. Now, the first, second, and third plant here, the plant here precisely, if you look at them, if you see this kind of plant outside, you might just walk past them. Let's assume this is a mango plant, or this is, yes, let's just say it's an orange plant, and it is at this level. A lot of us will walk through it, will walk past it, because there is no fruit yet until it germinates and start bringing out fruit. When it starts bringing out fruit, everybody from north, east, west, south, they will come around, gather under the tree to pluck the fruit. And that is when you become a global figure. That is when people will start hovering around you, companies will start hovering around you, just to get from the value you have already. Now, how do you get to that big tree that people will rally around to tap from? Is for you to keep watering, feeding the plant. The plants we're talking about, the seed we're talking about, I think I'm hearing some background noise.
Let me check, but continue on.
Okay. So it's kind of distracting. Okay, thank you. So this talking about the tree, and this is what will actually make people gather around you. How do we now get this plant grow, germinate to what people will start hovering around, what people will start getting to attach themselves to? This is where we're going. I have some slides to show for this. And actually, I don't want to be too worried, but I want us to put our mind, let's register this picture in our mind. We are targeting towards getting to being globally relevant. So things techies should do to go global, things you need to know for you to go global. You need to be growth oriented. From the picture from the previous slide, that picture, if a seed is bad, it won't germinate well. It will be sick. And before you know it, it will die off. So you need to be growth oriented. If you are growth oriented, it automatically shows that your seed is fine. You are in the right environment. Technology is vast and growth happens on a regular basis. So if technology is growing, but you choose not to grow, you can never be a global techie. Apologies, I said you can never. But on this note, if you're not growth oriented in a tech environment, because tech is not stagnant, what you think is in vogue yesterday, what you think is in vogue today may get outdated tomorrow. So you need to always keep yourself up to date on what is going on in the tech environment. How can I speed up with the technology? As at some years back, you might not know anything about AI and GPT and things like that. But as today, things have started changing. If we are not careful, very soon we won't have any human-based activity again within the industry. Tech will take over everything. You want to do marketing, I don't have to pay anybody to do my marketing for me. I just have a tech already set up for me, just a click, then I have everything done and things like that. So let's be growth oriented. If you want to be a techie on this call and you feel like, oh, I have known it all, I am at the senior level now, I've known it all, I'm the best in what I do, there is no one that surpasses me in my environment and I don't want to get better, I don't want to learn more, then you're killing yourself, you're killing your plant, you're killing your seed little by little. So please be growth oriented. Then you keep learning, develop your skills. When we're saying develop your skill, a lot of people just be okay, I'll just concentrate on me having to code and code and code and code. It's not just about coding. My brother, my sister, my tech bro. So you need to develop both your skill, your hard skill and your soft skill. It's very, very important. Talking at the human resource department now, we don't only look at your hard skill. There's so many people that have beautiful coding skill, but our soft skill is not there yet. It's nothing to write home about. And this attitude we bring to work, it's a big deal because a lot of people you attract, a lot of people get attracted to you most times because of the soft skill you show. If your soft skill is poor, then you might people might not want to get attached to you at any time. Even a child that is bad behaved, nobody will want to go close to that child. So we need to keep developing our hard skill and develop our soft skill. So the next one I would like to talk about is willingness and ability to sacrifice time and cost. Tech is not cheap. My tech bro, tech is not cheap. No matter the aspect of tech, we have different aspects in technology. We have the business aspect, we have the coding core tech guys, where they will just be putting quotes and quotes and quotes, 0 and 1, 1 and 0 together. And there are some aspects in tech that is concentrated on the business part. So as a tech bro, all this is not cheap. So it can be scary, like, we say, I want to learn tech, but oh, it is too expensive. It is time consuming and things like that. Yes, it is, but there are always a way out. There's so many ways out. If you actually are interested in this, do your research. You find so many people. I've heard a story. Someone was sharing a story, and this person could hardly take care of just one square meal in a day, just a square meal. It cannot easily, it wasn't so easy for him. He woke up one day and he was like, okay, I want to make it in tech. And he checked his pocket, you want to make it in tech and you want to learn something. And you're seeing like 500 naira home and abroad in your pocket. And I know a lot of us here are actually more than that. And putting one or two things together, he get to know, did some connection, and he got some educational loan or something like that. I think some banks does that, and he was able to enroll himself in one of those tech industry. He learned, and before you know it, he became a founder. And before you know it, because of what he has learned and some experience he has put together, his product is actually doing well today. And actually, he's no longer he was in Nigeria, but he's no longer in Nigeria. And he left the country and to a greener pasture, you understand? So I'm just trying to tell us, no matter the department you are, it is going to be, it's going to cost you a lot. It's going to cost you your time. It's going to cost you your hard-earned money. But there's always a way around everything. Just make your findings. Make your findings. Some organizations have actually made it easier for you to learn because you understand the challenge everybody faces. So just have it at the back of mind. There are some scholarship programs that are available around you all over the country, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in the US, you're in India, you are in some part of Africa, you're in some part of Asia, anywhere. Just make your findings. And there are some that's actually online that you can run for. All right. Then another aspect you need to consider seriously is be ready to give back to the community. Get recognized. So a lot of people will be like, well, I have trained myself, I've self-trained myself for, I'm in the human resources department. I do interview every now and then. I'll hear things like, yeah, I've self-trained myself for 6 months and I built some things for myself and blah, blah, blah. So if you cannot give me 500,000 naira per month, then I can't do anything. And some people are just like, oh, yeah, I have trained myself. I have even enrolled in some training center for like 2 years, but I need somewhere to gain more experience and exposure. Just let me I want to volunteer to support your organization and things like that. Now, from these two people, there's so many things that are right. There's so many things that are wrong. So looking at it, I would prefer to go for someone that would actually want to volunteer. And while volunteering is not just giving back to this organization, is gathering something for himself, is gathering recognition. At the end of the day, when you volunteer for an organization, you're adding to your portfolio. Your portfolio needs to be bulky. It is not just about the certificates. it is not just about your certificate. Your certificate is an addition, but the major thing we concentrate on, that's just it. There is the major thing the human resource department, especially in the IT industry, concentrates on is your experience. If you have 5 certificates, I'm looking at them and I see someone that has 5 years experience in the same in the same context. I'm sorry, I would not look at your certificate first. I need someone that has experience, has seen the pros and cons of this particular role. Same thing in the human resource generally. So please, whether you volunteer, whether you want to choose to mentor some set of people, just make sure you give back to the community. There are so many ways you do it. You can actually also teach. All right, so you are a product manager, you're a project manager, you are a marketer. There are so many things, you can just set up a recorded something and talk about some of your tools, how you can make use of them. Okay, you discovered something and you put it together, put it in a write-up, put it on your blog, create a blog content, and so on and so forth. Just keep doing things in the tech environment. Giving back to the community, you will get recognized. Because when you talk, okay, actually someone making reference to what you did and making reference, recommending you, before you know it, you've actually gone farther than your jurisdiction, your location only. So you can teach and discuss your area of expertise and share it through social media. People get to know, you have more connection on social media. Social media is not just your Facebook or your LinkedIn. It could be via, you can also use your newspaper publications, your blog and things like that. Then another thing, talking about trying to go global, you need to protect your relationship in the industry, especially if you're working with anybody. It could be a company, it could be an individual. Ensure that you protect your relationship. Don't destroy any door you have passed through. Don't destroy it. You might need it to get to another door you are going to in the nearest future. Don't destroy the doors, whether outside tech or within tech. Make sure every relationship you have, every connection you have, you protect it. Some people will be like, okay, they would, wherever they work or whoever they work with, they will just bastardize the person at some point, and because I'm leaving, then I just have to do anyhow and things like that. Not knowing that there's some background checks that used to happen. And the human resource department, I can say more about this. There are so many people that they don't even know there's some background check that happens on them. And as a company, integrity also matters. You don't have to lie for anybody's sake. So whatever it is you've done, though the companies, we would not actually want to jeopardize your career also, but at the same time, the departments may not be able to give you 100% like check if you have actually not been 100% checked. But if you have tried near 100%, the department can still give you this person is still giving thumbs up. But if you are below average, we can also let it look like, it's okay. Someone is, no, this is good. It's different from, it's okay. Like, and we understand our languages. So you may not know who is contacting the person you worked with before. So you must all try as much as possible to maintain a very healthy environment wherever you have worked, with any clients you've worked with, and with anybody you have worked with, whether in your team or so. So, gaining experience, like I said earlier, certificate is an addition, but your experience matters a lot. Experience is the best teacher. Someone was telling me, I was talking about some things that happened, and someone was telling me, oh, I studied chemistry, and in chemistry, it's supposed to be like this, it's supposed to be like this. So because he didn't study chemistry, it did not work that way. It doesn't work that way. I just be like, okay, thank you. This is me. I understand how this happened. I've seen it has been happening, and I've seen this is my experience. And you're telling me about chemistry. I didn't do chemistry, so let it be. It's fine. But my experience will always come ahead of whatever chemistry. But eventually, when that thing happens to that person, the person says, "I'm not up because the chemistry failed." Sorry, the chemistry knowledge so actually failed the person at that time. So experience add more flavor to your portfolio. Your portfolio will be bulky the more things you gather. Now, talking about the plant, the more experience the seed has on the ground, he has experienced sunlight, he has experienced snowy weather, it has experienced dry weather and things like that. And if it's surviving each stage, it keeps going. You will definitely be surrounded by some challenges. Some challenges will come. Even plants that are just growing, they have a lot of challenges. Too much sunlight, too much wetting, too much fertilizer, less fertilizer, people almost stepping on them and things like that. But one way or the other, they still struggle to become big tree. Some of them will die along the way. Some of them that dies along the way, they try to recuperate and come back. Some will just die permanently and let it go like that. So please, whatever level you are, whatever your land, your plant, whatever level your seed is at the moment, it could have been a big tree now. Kudos to you, but keep getting big, because a big tree that stopped taking care of itself, that stopped tapping nutrients from where it's been tapping nutrients from, will one day become barren. And when it becomes barren, everybody will run away from it. That's just it. So please, let's keep getting experience. Let's keep learning. Let's keep getting exposure in the society, in the community, the tech environment. So let's not, there are so many things that happen, even in some other activity in that area. You know, they have some carnival happens, some events happens that it keeps you like, oh, this person is actually part of us in your environment. So as a techie, join tech societies. When they are hangouts, join them. Don't say I'm an introvert. Yeah, an introvert. You can be an introvert while you're yourself. But I tell you, I can say I am both introvert and extrovert. I'm kind of more introvert. But when it comes to tech, and we need to do some things in tech, my introverts might have to go and sit down for a while and bring out the extrovert in me. So we need to mix this. Most of our techies, most of our coding guys, most of them are actually an introvert. But please and please, when you come into the tech field, try to join societies. When they are talking, introverts will prefer typing than having to talk. So you contribute in tech events, hangouts, and a lot of things that happen. Contribute. There will be some events like this ICT career talk that we're doing today. You can just join. A lot of things you can contribute. Ask questions. Contribute. Give back to the community and things like that. Then don't forget to learn and know something about everything in tech. Though don't be a jack of all trades, because a lot of people will be like, hello, can we mute? Someone is, hello, okay, can everyone hear me? I think I need to mute this person.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So please, someone is unmuted and is kind of distracted. All right, thank you for that. So don't forget to learn and know something about everything in tech. Like the first speaker said, he mentioned something like that, and it's beautiful. If they have to say something in graphics design, you have something to say. If they have something to say in Python, you have something to say. You might not have the deepest knowledge of everything, but at least know something about everything, so that when they are talking, you won't be sidelined and sidetracked. This one is not even part of us, so you can't know anything. No matter the industry you're working with today, all this industry you're talking about, education sector, health sector, every other sector, all the sectors are connected to tech. So please know something about everything. The aspect of tech, we have the health tech also, and so many agri-tech, fintech, and all sorts. Please, let's make sure we know something about everything. It doesn't have to be that you're a jack of all trades. Make sure you have a particular track you're following. Don't keep doing patching. Or don't you don't have to patch on all track in tech, but know something about everything. All right. So we have a lot of successful globally sought after techies. A lot of time we look at ourselves, can I really do it? All those people were not born to be globally sought after. They work towards it. If you look at their story, if you look at their history very well, one after the other, you realize that all this we've talked about, they went through it at one point, at a point or the other. They're actually still doing that. They are trying to keep themselves relevant in the tech industry. So don't just be because I have founded something today and it's working fine, just put your hands and be like, I'm on the top of my career. No. Let's make sure that we keep working, keep watering our seed. So if Tim Cook of Apple can do it, you can also do it. Mark of Facebook, if you can do it, you can do it. If you look at all those people's history, you know that their background wasn't directly from tech. And also, they worked towards getting to this level. Susan of YouTube can do it. You can do it. Benga could do it. You can do it. Michelle and many others. If they can do it, then what is stopping you from doing it? If the person that woke up with 500 naira in his pocket cannot even put a square meal for himself or his family, can do it, you can do better. So a lot of people have a very poor background, but today they can do it. In fact, none of my family members could say, okay, they were the one that put me through this tech path. If I can do it and still be in the tech industry, I can make use of screwdriver. I can make use of I can do some things in tech. The business aspect of tech I am in at the moment. If I can do it, you can do it. There are so many achievements I can't start mentioning here, so you don't feel she's one big woman like that. So she's actually, I have a lot of achievements and I'm eating from, not just from Bincom. There's some other achievements I'm achieving at the moment, right, because of this tech. And please, let's continue to give back to the community. You don't know who will recommend you tomorrow for a bigger gig. So please, also, the relationship is very important. So I would bring in, this will be the end of my presentation. Congratulations on the journey. I wish you all good luck.
Thank you so much, Madam Comfort, for this insightful section we had with you. And I look at, I have kind of like filled up over 2 sheets, just writing as well. All right. And I believe that everyone who is participating in this section and those who would actually listen to this recording, most definitely, if you are techie, there were some striking insights that Madam Comfort actually mentioned, right? And those insights are like solutions to certain problems a lot of techies are facing, right? So let me just read out some couple of quotes that Madam Comfort did mention while she was actually giving us the amazing presentation, right? And one of them is, challenges are common to all, what you do with them makes all the difference. So your challenge in life is not peculiar, right? All right, it comes to everybody, it comes in different shades, but what you do with the challenges that comes to you matters a lot. Also, skill competence without the right attitude, soft skills, is futile. So getting the skill competence, whatever you do, but if you don't have the right attitude, the soft skill, you will not fly so high. Also, be heard and be seen. Be heard and be seen. So be visible, all right? Be visible and don't get blacklisted. Whatever you do, don't bring it to someone. I did the right quotes. Don't was it? Don't burn the hand that feeds you, something like that. Just be wise. Don't get blacklisted because that will not speak well for you on the local and international scale. And with that being said, the final quote for today: keep the doors in place. It leads to better. Keep the doors, current doors opportunities you have right now in place, and it can lead to better outcome or unfavorable results. Now let's go to the Q&A section. I have a lot of questions, like very striking questions. Okay, so don't worry, it's not very hard. These questions are, and amongst other questions that are coming, are questions that actually I would say are the heart cry of most techies. These are questions that many are wanting to ask. Some have asked, they are yet to get response that serve as practical step-by-step actions that they can take, while others are yet to actually hear them. So I'm going to start with, this is the Q&A section. I'm going to start with Mr. Patrick. All right, and I have a list of questions here for both facilitators. We're also going to have a point of discussion to get the perspective of both facilitators with respect to the question that's been asked. All right, so Mr. Patrick, one striking thing I observed about both facilitators is that beyond just being in tech, they're also entrepreneurial pursuits. Who discovered that? Beyond just being in tech, they are also entrepreneurial in pursuits. So they can, be in the code, like the technical aspect of tech, the non-technical aspect of tech, and they still have the entrepreneurial drive with respect to all the things that they do in the scene and beyond the scene. All right, so my question is this. All right, from Mr. Patrick. All right, how can techies break through the entrepreneurial part? How can techies break through the entrepreneurial part? And this is tied to, give me a moment. This is actually tied to a certain question earlier. We have a lot of techies, right, who just build solutions, right? They work on concepts, they work on a lot of things, but they build things, but they don't know how to sell things. And that's the problem. Right? A lot of them build a lot. We have many techies. Madam Kopo did mention that, right? They love someone said some time back that techies, most introverted techies are forever condemned to their screen. That was yesterday's discussion. But most of them are great at building, but they have issues in selling. They have issues in doing all of it. So in 3 practical steps, right, in less than, let's say, 30 minutes to 1 minute, 30 seconds rather to 1 minute, how can a techie break through the entrepreneurial part, either in line with what they are doing or in line with their passion? What is your take on that, sir?
Okay. I was laughing at the part where you said introvert techies are doomed to their screens.
Yeah.
So the answer is very simple, right? Get a team, okay? You can't build a solution by yourself. You need complementary skill sets. And obviously, all of those skill sets cannot be domiciled in one person. It's going to be found in other people. So you're a builder, you're the one that develops, get a marketer who can sell that thing for you, right? Get all these other people around you. Entrepreneurship is about building enterprises, and enterprises are not run by single individuals. They're run by a team of different people with different expertise. And that's one of the things that fascinates me about product managers and product management in general, is that the product manager is like the hub of everything around the business targeted to a particular product. So the executive aspect, the tech, the design, all of these things go into that product to push it and accelerate it forward, right? HR, all of that stuff, it goes into that hub to make sure that, okay, look, this product, this direction is going for it to become successful. So if you're building, find someone on your team who can help you sell, and then explain to them your vision. The person can help you sell it because they now clearly understand the vision. It's all about teamwork.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. So that was very, very striking. It's all about teamwork. It's all about building structures and systems around your initiative and what you're working on. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. All right. Okay, Madam Comfort, I have a question here for you. Okay. So you mentioned something about, I'm also seeing a lot of questions in the comment section. I'll take them as well. All right. Now, I wouldn't want to ask similar entrepreneurship questions because I know there'll be quite some couple of similarities per se. Now, you mentioned more that you have, based on your range of exposure, professional service. Many techies are found, and this is like true on all grounds. All right, a lot of persons who are techies, they have issues in getting maybe an internship role in an organization, right? They have issues in maybe applying to an organization or organizations. I recall it was yesterday we had a Twitter space where an amazing techie said before he got his role, he applied to over 200 organizations. And over about 90% of them told him, no, thank you very much. There was no interview, there was nothing. So that applied to over 200, and 1 out of 200 got an in. So, right, and the question is this. Many techies complain of not being able to get access to job offers. What primary mistake do you observe that most techies make? I'll say 4 primary mistakes that most techies make when they are applying to organizations. Just 4 of these mistakes. Yes.
Thank you very much. I may not make it full. I will just I'm hearing a sound, I'm getting a feedback. All right, so thank you for that question. I may not be able to list 4 to you, but I'll just say that from my experience so far, one of the issues that a lot of techies face is that they believe that they have arrived and they know it all. So if you can't give me, this, then you are the one reason. Whereas they are actually not started. Their soft skill also matters. Some what I said earlier is kind of related to what I'm just about to say. Some have this arrogance about, so I know it all, I have what you think you need, whereas we know that you don't have it. But if you are not willing to come down to learn, one of the issues that people have. I mentioned something earlier during the presentation. When you're trying to gain experience, I know the internship is more about you gaining more experience and learning more in the work environment. But a lot of people would never want to volunteer. Yeah. So if you are not ripe enough to handle this role, then would you want to at least learn under someone, volunteer to learn under someone? It's always no, it's majorly no. So a lot of people actually run after their early stage, run after what they get, rather than sorry about that. They are concerned about what they get than what they will learn, the money they earn, and what they will get. So these are one of these just part of the issues out there. Thank you. Yeah, muted.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So, in a nutshell, just as Madam Kofod has mentioned, you've not arrived as a techie. You're always growing. Your soft skills actually really matters, and getting required exposure, practical exposure around the things you do is necessary. 1 year of solid practical experience is what certificate without practical experience, just theories. No matter how many certificates you're getting, try to see how you can do things for yourself or try to put yourself out there. Okay, this question goes to Mr. Patrick. All right, then I have two other questions that are, funny thing is that the questions in the comment section are similar questions that I also documented here as well. Okay, Mr. Patrick, you said something that was very striking. I don't think any other person had it. Can you hear me, sir? I don't think any other person had what. All right. Well, you said something that was very, 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 very striking. Now, let me say what you said and the question around it. Okay, you mentioned of when there were certain solutions back then you worked on, even though payment per se was not the core option that was just available. You're also given an opportunity to own a right, or to given certain privilege within the solution. All right. Now the question is this: what is your take on equity ownership versus outright payment? Now, if someone let me make a scenario, right? If someone was to get in effect here, maybe you got access to work on a staff or something, and this is a case scenario, right? And you were told, we're not necessarily paying for money, but we will pay all the money, all right? But we also have an alternative solution for you to have certain equity staking, all right, or to own a chunk of the company, right? What would be your suggestion for such person who is faced with this situation? Would you suggest they should take the equity staking, given the fact that the product will work well, we believe, because it's all risk, and maybe a portion of payment? Or would you just say, just collect all your money, collect the payment and go? What is your take on that, sir?
Wow. That's actually a very, very good question, because it's you're going to find that a lot as you apply for various roles. Companies are offering stock options and pay and all of those kinds of things. Now, a little expo, I did a venture analyst course, and it gave me a lot of and then my MBA background as well gave me a lot of insight into understanding equity and valuations and things like that. So I can speak at a certain level of authority on that perspective. Now, if as you're applying for a job and you're being offered a stock option, I'll be very careful, because it's basically a promise that the company is going to be valuable, or that's on one hand it's a promise, on the other hand it is a certainty of valuation. So you need to know exactly what that company is valued at or valued for, or what it will grow to be valued at in future before you can take such an option, because the owners of the company themselves are bearing the risk, and if they ask you to take equity, they're asking you to also be part of that risk that they are bearing, so to speak. And if you're an employee, you're buffered, because salary is kind of like a safe spot, it's a safe zone, and you can just walk off, and if something happens to the company, you can just go find another place to work in. But taking equity now gives you more of a sense of responsibility. So you really need to ask yourself, one, if you're ready to take on that kind of responsibility. And it might be something you're interested in, if the company is maybe something you're passionate about, and then you really want to, you actually want to own a part of it because you're passionate and you believe in the vision and all of that. Secondly, too, if it's me, I think in a capitalist way, I'll be asking myself, like, okay, what's the market valuation of this company now? Where's the market going? I have to look at a lot of things to make that kind of decision, to ensure that, look, 2 years, 3 years down the line, company doesn't close down, and I can sell my stake or whatever it is for something profitable. So I don't mind if that if there's that, if it's clear, the data says that, look, these guys are going to grow in so and so number of years. If it's clear, then I can risk taking equity. But if it's uncertain, I would only say go with it if you're passionate about the mission of that company. So that's my answer.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, sir. That's really striking. I believe everyone within has taken note of that. And I think, you've been availed the option to choose wisely. Okay, we just have a few more questions and then we have an announcement. Okay, this other question goes to Madam Comfort. After that, we'll take one more last question. Tailor two last questions together and then we'll wrap up the section. All right, so Madam Comfort, most techies complain of issues with respect to tax management, right? As you did mention, if you're getting started, the tendency is that you want to do many things, right? Whether you are interning or you are part of an existing organization and all the stuff, right? What strategies can techies adopt to manage their time effectively, right? So what possible strategies can you say that techies out there can adopt to have good time management over the things?
Okay, thank you. You might have to mute, sorry. Okay, yeah, thank you. All right, so strategy on time management. We have a lot of tools for time management. Yeah, we have a lot of tools for time management, and this would help a lot. We all need it as a techie because you find out that you're not meeting up with some targets, you have some things you need to do, and you're not meeting up. Take advantage of those tools. There is a common tool that we all have on our smartphone, and that's the use of our calendar. It could be Google Calendar, set alarm, set your priority, right? When you wake up every day, have a plan. Okay, this is what I want to achieve today, and make sure you're able to achieve them. If it's by task, you can set them side by task. You can set them aside by just achievement. Just make sure that you have timing for what you have to do within 1 hour, within 9 to 10. I want to do this, and I'm going to have a short break. That's very important. Please don't run through your day without having a break. That will be, it wouldn't look real at all. Always set a break time for yourself so that you can manage your time well. When your mind is intact, then you would know how to, you would follow your time management and plans perfectly. Thank you.
All right. Now, on to the last question for today, which is like 2-in-1 question to ask to Mr. Patrick. Now, we all know that AI is doing some couple of persons strong thing in the Nigerian colloquial language, strong thing. All right. I would like to know, sir. All right. I would like to know, sir. Right. The future is unfolding so fast. Okay. What relevant skills do you think the future will place demand on? All right. What relevant demand on? What are the roadmap or what possible roadmap would you suggest for a person to begin, all right, in building competence in the skills for the future?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So what relevant fields should people look out for? Okay, so we are moving. Let me do it this way. We are moving into an era of experience, right? The consumer of today and the future is constantly looking for experiences, okay? And so you need to ask yourself, what are the technologies that exist that can help me to build an experience for the target customer or users of my product or service. So if you can answer that question, all right, then you can know the fields, all right, that are necessary for you to hold on to. So in a more practical example, practical terms, VR, virtual reality, is a big trend, okay, and it's going to get bigger. All right. If you look at the not just the hype, but the conversations happening around it, the speedy advancement of the digital space, everything is now online. But people are looking for more interactivity and all of that stuff. So that's going to grow immensely. And what that means is that the technologies that are critical to building that sort of infrastructure are going to be the areas that techies in quote should leverage if they want to remain relevant in the field. So back to my original concept, we are moving from just having physical products or just enjoying a physical product, doing functional things for us. We want to have an experience with something, whether it's a phone, whether it's going to a venue, whether it's a car, whatever it is, we want to have an experience, we want to feel a certain way. So find the technologies that can deliver that heightened experience, learn them, and that's how you stay relevant. I hope that that's a good answer. I don't want to mention specific fields because the way the world is going, now that AI is coming, sometimes I ask myself whether they will just use an AI as a product manager and kick me off.
Yes, sir. Thank you, for your feedback. All right, so it's been really great having this section with Mr. Patrick Bincom and Madam Comfort Odafe. All right, I'm just going to give an overview into one of the amazing products, one of the amazing services we actually offer that can enable people get really better in navigating their way in the tech space. So, all right, so basically, if you are here and if you would actually watch this video, wherever you're watching from, whatever time zone, whatever venue, all right, and you have an interest to get started in tech, tech is not all complex. Tech is not rocket science. It's easy to start. If you have the right program, the right learning model, the right supportive environment to enhance your growth as an individual, then most definitely tech is for you. And I bring to you the Bincom Global Tech Program. The Bincom Global Tech Program, which of course is in two ways. We have the 1 to 2 years program and we have the 3-month program. It's tailored to meet your needs as a techie, whether it is to learn skills, experience, or gain exposure. This solution is for you. And all you have to do is just take that bold step. Take that bold step and begin today. How do you do that? You can go over to www.bincom.net/global tech. Don't worry about the amount. You might be thinking, well, it's 1.2 million. Well, it's $4,000. Well, it's 1,000 pounds. It's 4,000 pounds, 1,000 pounds. How do you do it? Where do I get started from? Who's going to give me the money? Relax. All those questions will be answered as you apply for this program. Don't worry about whether or not you're going to turn out successfully in this. As long as you have the passion, the zest, and the required environment to ensure that you actually become better, you would become better. Elon Musk today didn't start just today. He has a track record of the intentionality to become better within the area of tech. So go over today, apply today, and you're going to get real-time feedback within the next 24 hours on what next step to take. Once you've done that, believe me, you are set to make a difference in the world. To come away next time, remember, If you are a techie, you are a global citizen. And learning skill by yourself with the required system in place, with the required course curriculum, with the required supportive environment is the best for you. Start now, start right. Choose Bincom Global Tech and make a difference. Thank you for your time. Till we come away again next time on this channel. Always remember, tech is for you. Tech is the new oil, and tech is the fastest way to become a global citizen. Whether in your jurisdiction, locally or internationally, choose to become a techie today and make a difference in your world. Thank you so much for your time. I remain Moses Elijah, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next section. This video will be made available on our YouTube channel. You can watch it anytime, see it, you can share it with your friends and colleagues, and do remember to invite others for the next section when it happens. Thank you, and goodbye for now. Thanks.